Hello, everybody.
Calling case number 24, RO 01807. This is people of the city of Royal Oak versus Haley Christine Burke. That's you?
Yeah.
Ms. Burke, you were present just a few seconds ago when the court explained the nature of an informal hearing. Is that true?
Yes.
And the court also explained that you would be required to make a selection from one of three options in your conduct for that hearing, correct?
Yes.
This citation, Ms. Burke, was issued on March the 6th of this year at 12:30 in the afternoon. It said you were operating a 2015 Kia black in color on Washington Avenue at or near Harrison in the city of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, you exceeded the posted speed of 25 miles per hour by at least 1 to 5 miles over. Officer Cherry's detailed note indicates defendant stopped for speeding. And his note, which also appears on your citation, indicates that it appears as though you were speeding 22 miles an hour over the speed limit, but he wrote this matter for 1 to 5 over.
He wrote it for 1 to 5, but she was going 22 over. He already gave her a huge break.
Now, Ms. Burke, you may admit responsibility in this matter, admit with an explanation, or you may deny responsibility, and the court will swear the parties and we will take proofs. What would you like the court to do for you today?
I'll accept the second one.
All right, so you would like to admit with an explanation?
Yeah.
Okay, we do that in 2 steps. So first, you're confirming for the court that you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Royal Oak, that place and time, correct?
Yes, I was driving.
And secondly, you were exceeding the posted speed of 25 by a minimum of 1 mile over the speed limit, correct?
Still, I'm admitting to
You were speeding 1 to 5 over.
Yeah.
True?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The court appreciates and accepts your plea of responsible. Ms. Burke, what would you like this court to know?
I'll accept that I may have been going over the speed limit, and I just wanted to come to court today to try to see if I could get rid of the point or not. I was unaware and I should pay more attention. I know that he had mentioned when he had pulled me over that he had to catch up to me, which I don't deny that he had done that, but I was just curious on why then he didn't flicker his lights or not. I was just seeing if I could anyway waive the point at all.
And you are plus or minus 23, correct?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
2000, correct?
Yes.
All right. How long have you been driving?
Since I was 18, 17, I believe.
All right. The court has absolutely no idea what your driving record looks like because it judges each and every case before it just on the merits alone on a case-by-case basis. But the court is more than happy to hear any thoughts Officer Cherry might have.
Yes, Magistrate. Essentially, to answer her first concern, no, I don't typically turn on my overheads to try to catch up to a speeder. I'm not going to, okay, for a multitude of reasons. Sometimes that allows vehicles to speed up or accelerate or take some sort of dangerous evasive action before I have a chance to even catch up to your license, to get your plate or information like that. So no, it's not common practice to turn on my overheads. But yes, any general common knowledge would indicate that if I'm getting a reading of 47 miles an hour on radar, indicating that you're traveling at 47 miles an hour, logic would dictate I'm going to have to exceed your speed just to catch up to you, which continues to put the public at even greater danger because not only were you traveling 22 miles an hour over the limit, I was probably having to travel 35 to 40 miles an hour over the limit to catch up to you, just to try to correct your action. As somebody who, as a newer driver, when you're traveling at 47 miles an hour, okay, 47 miles an hour is about, if you go 1.5, or sorry, to convert that to feet per second, you basically use a conversion factor of 1.6. You're basically traveling at about 75 feet a second, okay? Basically what that means is you're traveling the equivalent of 2 city lots in 1 second. That's just your reaction time alone. So the reason that that stretch of road is 25 miles an hour is due to pedestrian traffic and the very clearly designated bike lanes. When you travel that fast, your reaction time is so slow, the chances of you having a fatal auto pedestrian accident goes through the roof. Pretty much most studies have shown that the survivability rate of an auto pedestrian accident at 45 miles an hour is 0%. As a former traffic investigator, I've taken numerous fatal accidents, and on 40-mile-an-hour speedways, none of my pedestrians ever survived. So you need to take that to heart. That's why I wrote this. That's why I still cut you a bit of a break, because you are a young driver. But because you came here because were you looking at against my better judgment, I will concede and make a motion to amend this to impeding traffic this one time. That being said, I noticed you had a prior as well. You're down a dangerous path, which is going to lead towards increased accidents. And how would you feel if you struck or killed a pedestrian or a bicyclist? So I'll amend this to impeding, which carries no points, or make a motion rather, because only the magistrate can agree to that. But you're down a dangerous path, and you need to start slowing it down, and you need to pay attention to all signs and all traffic laws and what's going on around you.
Now, here's the point, young girl, that you just keep your mouth shut and say thank you and accept the admonishment.
Does that make sense, ma'am?
I understand that, and I appreciate you saying that. I know you say down the dangerous path, and the ticket that I've gotten prior was about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was on the highway in a flow of traffic, and that's not an excuse at all. Like, I'm not saying that's okay at all. I'll obviously pay more attention to everything else, but I wouldn't per se. Obviously, what you said does make a lot of sense, and opening eyes with pedestrians and everything else, but I wasn't per se saying down a dangerous path, only because it was like, it's not like every day, and I'm not excusing what you're saying, and maybe it's confusing how I'm trying to explain things, but I know just the prior was like long ago, and I honestly didn't even really realize that I was speeding, because that was why I was surprised when you pulled me over, and that's why I wanted to come to court to ask for the point taken off and to hear you out also.
Ms. Burke, if I may interject, sitting as a magistrate, this court on an arraignment basis could see anything from open murder to a traffic ticket such as we're doing today. While it might sound far less serious and considerable under the law it is, this court happens to know that Officer Cherry takes his job deadly serious. He's got a lot of training in this, cares very deeply about what he does. And I believe what the officer is trying to suggest to you is, especially since, there's a community college not very far from this particular area, there's just a lot of people in that zone or that region of roadway, especially in the middle of the day. Classes are letting in, classes are letting out. I don't know, maybe you were coming in or out of a class, but the reaction time is a big deal. And so I think what he's suggesting is 22 is a massive margin of speed. And he's absolutely right. The human eye and the reaction can only do what they can do. If for whatever reason somebody popped out in front of you, you probably wouldn't have time. And so we would be here on a much farther and more serious situation. The court will grant that motion to impeding traffic. And impeding traffic is sanctioned with a $175 fine that is payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website, or you may walk a cash check or charge into the 44th District Court, 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30, and that's going to be due within 14 days. And that closes your hearing. Please be careful, okay? Pretend like your grandma's in the passenger seat and she somehow forgot to use her seatbelt, okay? That's the way you should be driving. Take care.
Bye.
That bye at the end, that's what actually threw me over. I was like, I can't believe she did that. Like, oh, she's so ungrateful. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.